Welcome back to the Capital Mindset Show. We are your hosts, Austin and Fabio. Today we're going to be talking about cars.
Are you a gearhead, Austin?
Am I a what head?
A gearhead.
No.
Defined as an individual who enjoys cars. You're not?
No.
Okay. Do you like electric cars?
I like cars. I think cars are cool, but I don't really know anything about them, if I'm being honest with you.
So
it's not exactly my thing.
Okay, so then please entertain me. What do you know about cars?
Vroom vroom, drive down the street, you put gas in them. You put engine oil, fix your engine. When it breaks, you take it to like a maintenance. Take it to the maintenance, but you don't take it to like a commercial maintenance shop because they always charge way too much. You want to find your small business one, and then they give you a fair price for usually a better quality job. But yeah, that's about all as much as I know about cars. What about you? What do you know about cars? Putting me on the spot and put you on the spot now.
Absolutely nothing. But I know that they're a tool. I don't know. That's how I look at them. All right. So true. I guess the people here are here to see. They clicked on this video because they've seen our title, I guess.
Yeah.
And what they want us to talk about is Volkswagen and by extension Porsche. Now, do you know why it is those two companies are related?
If I had to guess, I don't know. Owned by the same company?
Well, they actually are the same company. Yep. So the main caveat is Porsche a long time ago tried to do a hostile takeover of Volkswagen. Yeah, you're too young to remember that. Back in the day, when you were diapers, the Volkswagen group was Porsche was trying to take over, right, hostily. So they were buying the shares on the open market. It ended up failing. Long story short, it backfired, and now Porsche is simply a holding company, and Volkswagen basically is the company, and Porsche just owns shares. They own about 50% of the entire shares. Okay. So now you can imagine that such a failure to do a hostile takeover had some consequences. Well, it kind of did, and
where my mind jumps to this would be maybe like a poison pill strategy of some kind where there was like an excess amount of dilution and that might still be being felt today. That's just kind of where, I mean, probably not, likely not, but that's just kind of where my mind goes with this kind of stuff. Whenever I hear of hostile takeover, I immediately imagine like poison pill defenses, stuff like that.
Well, what really happened is that right now there's like a perpetual arbitrage between what the value of Porsche is and the value of the stock that Porsche has on its balance sheet as ownership of Volkswagen. But they are such a large shareholder that if they were to ever try to sell all those shares, they won't actually probably realize the full value at the present moment. They'd have to do it very slowly over time. However, I don't necessarily think I would want them to do something like that. I mean, we'll talk about that as we go forward. But we know, for example, Volkswagen, Porsche, they're releasing a lot of electric cars. I have a buddy who has a lot of experience with the Porsche electric car, and they said it's the best car they've ever driven in their life. They have driven Tesla cars before anyone says or inquires about that. I do have a Tesla car in the household. And I like that car, but I do want to see what the rest of the world or the other companies has to offer. And Porsche supposedly is really good, has a really good, compelling product offering. Of course, the price is a little expensive, but Volkswagen's coming out as a group with a bunch of new focuses on electric vehicles. And so I guess what everyone really wants to know is why are we talking about both of them? Well, the reason why we're talking about both of them is if we didn't talk about Porsche, people would say, why aren't you talking about the arbitrage opportunity? Well, let me just say there may be a perpetual arbitrage opportunity. That being said, you may make a compelling case to buy it through Porsche because Porsche one day might close the gap. One day, sometime in the future. We don't know when. So you can be very patient and hold it as a proxy, knowing that it'll always be cheaper than what the book value is. But That being said, one day it may not be. All right. And we'll have to wait for that one day. So that being said, also Porsche has a venture capital arm. So you can think of it that they do it for Volkswagen. So 90% of Porsche's portfolio is in Volkswagen stock, and less than 10% of their portfolio is in venture capital. So you have a venture capital arm that is kind of like extra icing on the cake. The majority
and
of
what is that venture capital arm used for? Do you know the answer to that?
Yes,
like what is
mainly
Porsche
in
software okay.
dealing with automotive vehicles, and then so they can leverage that with Volkswagen, and they are still separate entities technically. So Porsche can generate revenues outside of Volkswagen. Volkswagen gives Porsche the dividends, right? So they own such a substantial amount that a lot of the income of Porsche actually is the dividend income from Volkswagen. So a lot of the price movement on Porsche is actually coincides with Volkswagen's price movement. And I've been saying Volkswagen a lot, so I'm going to say VW to save some time. And I think from here, I think everyone would like us to go and see the model. Would you like to see the model?
No, I would not.
Okay, well then you don't get the model. All right, so for the audience who wants to see the model, Austin, you can turn off screen so you're not blinded by the greatness. Is we have, let's put a 10%. Oh, I don't even have the ticker in here. Silly me. So VW
VWAGY
AGY. All right, analysts not really covering it, I guess, in where this is scraping, and beta higher than the market. Cool, because it's been moving a lot recently. Current, it's in the middle of that 52-week range, and wow, look at that. So the market cap, clearly we have to make some quick adjustments because the it's basically not accounting for or not dividing correctly because of the horrible confusion in the structure of the business. So you may see a quick pause here while I have to go do a manual adjustment, in these rare instances, and we'll do it. All right, so we're back. The adjustments have been made, and now we can see it's now a little bit more reasonable because what was happening was the structure, and this is why this is here. It tells me, hey, don't, be careful. So I made the
probably double check things.
Yeah. So like basically because of the structure, the true market cap of the business is $118 billion, but the market cap by where the data is coming from is only addressed to about $9 billion worth of shares. So you do a percentage adjustment on the numbers. We only did it for the cash flows for the sake of the video. So what we will not be doing is going over the key ratios, because in doing so, they're going to be skewed a little bit. So it's just how it's supposed to go. So some of the key ratios we can still look at, but not all of them. I'll highlight which ones not to pay attention to. And they'll be fairly obvious. But just so you know, do not trust that PE of 0.74 because I didn't adjust the income statement. I only adjusted the cash flow statement. The price to free cash flow, you can take that for what it is. That one's been adjusted. So basically what we're seeing here, company, very cheap. Porsche is going to be cheaper than this because Porsche has an arbitrage between Volkswagen and the main company. So at 10% required rate of return, I don't have to assume any growth. This is fairly average growth, staying the same, right? So let's assume a margin of safety, a decent margin of safety. Okay, we can assume that. Not. Just there was a small delay.
I was like,
so, oh, interesting. You know what? It just duped me.
Ooh.
Do you see what it did?
I did. I watched it go from $49 in the price.
No.
$4.95.
You missed it. You missed it. The model duped me. It's betraying its master. You see what it did there? I'll keep this in the video. I'll have to make the adjustment again because now my previous adjustment was wrong. So now it's scraped in the proper market cap. It added like a factor of 10.
Wow.
so it scraped it wrong. It just, I guess, took time to load it and realized it was wrong. And it's like, oh, sorry, no, this is the one. The market
Oh, this
cap,
changes the whole video.
it does. Okay, so it was scraping. It's scraping from Google. So, or it's using Google behind the scenes to actually find that information. So interesting. So the model must have said, oh, that's a mistake. Sorry, here you go. Here's the right one. So now we're going to make another cut, and then I'm going to have to refix the numbers. So sorry about this, guys, but I'm keeping this in the video because it's just, it's funny. All right, guys. All right, guys. So off screen, what happened was, this is actually really funny. This is the first. So then the model reverted to the previous one, and then now reverted right back. So
nice.
I am.
It's got a mind of its own.
No.
It's AI.
I need it to just remain stable because I need to stabilize the percent adjustment. But okay, it's gonna stay there. Okay, it's gonna stay there. Google, just stop whatever it's causing that. I'm 99% sure it's the whole ADR structure that's confusing the heck out of it. And it's going like, what am I picking up? And it's, scraping. So we know the whole market cap is 118 billion. But for the numbers, we want to make the proper adjustments where we're accounting for the amount of shares that we're accounting for. So as long as that's consistent, we should be okay. Okay. So now we are at an appropriate range of prices. So assuming zero growth, it looks interesting. Now, they could be going through a fluke year. We have to consider that, where the cash flows may be going up drastically, or this is tremendously undervalued. And we've discussed in the past why European stocks tend to be fairly undervalued, right, when compared to American counterparts for various reasons.
Yep.
A lot of
because
capital.
Everybody likes to put their capital into the US. That is much true. Yeah.
So we're not. Yep, you see it did it. It did it live. It's like, no, back to the 9 billion. So it's literally using the information on the internet to find this. So the first time that it's actually
got a mind of its own,
switching back
model
and forth.
has a mind of its
own. You know what? I declared defeat.
Actually, what I would declare in this instance is I would just take that number that it's printing right there and just divide that number by 10 and then get back to the 49.52 that you had earlier, or 53, and just roll with that. And that's what we'd be using.
You know
right
what,
now.
Austin? You're a genius. So much
Thanks,
simpler.
Man.
See, thank you, Austin.
No problem.
Let's give this man a medal. He did
Thank
math.
you.
Math that I was incapable of doing. No,
roasted in the comments section.
All right.
Wow, Austin, you can do math.
All right, get off your pedestal now. Let's get.
I know.
Let's
get. Come on, man. I can enjoy myself a little bit sometimes. I can enjoy it. It's all right. It's all right.
Can you believe this guy? All right, anyway. All right. So let's actually get through the model, and before it changes its mind again on the market cap, or at least the market cap represented by the ADRs, it's freaking out by that. It's not freaking out on the market cap of actual Volkswagen, who's about 118 billion, but it's freaking out on the ADRs. So remember to divide my price to buy by 10. Okay, but it's pretty decent. Let's increase my margin of safety. So here you see, wow, it's actually fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
It's still there. Yeah,
pretty scary. So something may be amiss with the cash flows. And now my second assumption, this is all a preliminary analysis. So you see it, there we go. It's doing it automatically live. Like it's freaking out.
It's got a mind of its own.
It's literally got a mind of its own. I'm serious. It's the ADRs. So just divide the number by 10 when it goes to the high amount. But I'd have to take a really hard look at the IFRS accounting and then probably make some adjustments because I don't know if the gap is actually translating well. And if that's the case, then this may be too excessive. But from the perspective here, it does appear that Volkswagen itself is undervalued, decently undervalued. That might be actually the case. I don't want to always say that, oh, I just want to dismiss it just because. And we do see it is a low growth company. So it actually may be primed for this level of price appreciation. We don't know yet. All right. But I will say this, if I had to buy this, And I know this is going to be a short video, short analysis, because, there's some things that clearly need to be figured out here. Model, freaking out on me. It's I'd rather own this through Porsche. That's the way I would do it. Simply because you have that little arbitrage about they own 50%, but the value of the total Porsche is actually less than the 50% ownership. And they also have that venture capital arm. So you still get the exposure to Volkswagen. And if Volkswagen appreciates, Porsche should appreciate in equal proportion. But it will probably be perpetually undervalued because it's not realistic that you can expect Porsche to completely liquidate the full position. So with that being said, guys, if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want us to do a DD on Porsche and Volkswagen, let us know down below.
We would be more than happy to. In fact,
it'd probably
these
be
two
into
companies
the new
actually
year.
interest me, if I'm being honest. So
yeah, but let's just be aware, it will probably be in the new year. And you see there,
nice.
did it again live. Okay, so no one, I'm not going crazy. It's doing it live. And again, this data, it's scraping it from the internet. Okay, so it's going and out there and gathering that information, and doesn't know which source to use for this because it's an ADR. It's like a weird ADR. Or it's a weird structure. It's probably looking at the Porsche thing. It's going like, what the heck? Which one do I take? Probably. Something's going on, but it's like a factor of 10 for some reason. Anyways, so let us know if that analysis, if we end up doing it, if there's enough requests for it, or if there is a request for it. If we're honest, we'll do it because Austin's interested. It'll probably be in the next year. All right, guys. With that being said, have a good one. Bye.